Hello, everyone. My name is Davud. I'm with Diamond AI. Diamond AI is a self-discovery tool that helps students in their decisions regarding both higher education and more generally in their career decisions. It does that through bringing to attention and awareness and understanding different aspects of their personality, traits, interests, strengths, inclinations, and so forth. Today, I have the pleasure and privilege of speaking to someone who has recently used our platform, Matin Salimzadeh. Thank you so much, Matin, for joining me. Would you like to begin maybe telling us a little bit about your academic background, your interests, and maybe some of the things that you're going to do?
First of all, hello, and I appreciate you for considering this time and meeting to record this. A little bit about myself. I'd like to mention that, I'm 20 years old. I'm a college student in Seneca Polytechnic, based in Toronto, and I am taking or studying a 2-year program, which is basically a 2-year diploma. And uh, I have a diverse set of skills, and also I do have strengths and weaknesses, which I learned more about them after using Diamond AI, and I'm sure we're going to go through them. I think I knew myself to a good extent, but again, it gave me a wider perspective about myself.
Great, great. Could you tell us one thing that really stood out to you in your report? It could be any aspect.
There were multiple highlights, multiple things that really stood out, but if I had to choose one of them, it would be the fact that I'm stubborn. The AI pointed that out that I'm stubborn. And usually, when you point out a very bold, negative nature feature or trait of a person like that, it's not very accepted, or you would not be typically open to agree with that. If you're stubborn, you're not going to agree that you're stubborn, both in a personal life aspect and professional environments. However, I paused for maybe 1 or 2 minutes after I saw that part in the report, and I realized that in my past interactions and several events and experiences, I realized that I have been um, stubborn to a good extent in those experiences, and I have to work on it, and I've actually become better. A general thing that was surprising was, again, going back to the point I had earlier, was the fact that I was not sure if AI is going to really help me because all the advice and mentorship I had earlier in my life was through human elements, talking to a mentor, talking to a consultant, whether it was an elder brother or whoever it was always human elements. But uh, trusting an AI and putting trust into it, I did not expect very positive outcome about it or of it. However, after interacting with the chatbot, reading the multi-page report, after answering all those survey questions, I realized it's actually very accurate, and it gives you a third-person perspective or a third view or a bird's eye view about yourself that you would not necessarily see if from within. You had to have an outer perspective, and it does that for you, like a therapist would, like a career coach would, and probably in a more advanced way because obviously it's trained on millions of lines of text and data. So that was surprising that it can actually be helpful as a general thing.
Could you did you think there are decisions maybe in the near future and in the far future that this Diamond AI Insights, the report, could maybe help you make you in those decisions, or maybe eliminate some of the choices that uh, you know that you don't want to take now based on this understanding of yourself?
I see. So with the time that I had to try out and basically use Matin AI, actually there were some decisions that I second basically second guessed, I think we say. Basically, I had to look at them again. Some decisions that I was about to make and I had already made. So one of them being my current program. I have chosen computer programming, and I don't have a particular background coming into it. I was from a more of a social science, biology, physical education kind of background coming out of high school, and also teaching, coaching, assistant coach, all that stuff. Coming into computer programming, I wanted to have a career in that because it was open-ended and some other reasons. However, getting to the decision that I was conflicted about, I realized I'm very good or can be good in things like project management, in things like HR, human resources. And I start to think, am I really ready to go be a s- a particular person that is working as a subordinate of a project manager or actually be the project manager? And that was a whole personal reflection process that uh, maybe I'm in the right position, maybe I'm doing the right stuff, because obviously you have to first know the ground game, know the software developer, junior software developer stuff to go become a project manager. And I'm using technical uh, language for that specific field, but I hope it makes sense. So I was conflicted about whether I'm going in the right path or not. And the decisions that I have to make in the future, I know I have to make in the future, maybe deep into my career. Um, I definitely start to think about how I'm going to make them. I haven't necessarily chosen a final path in that field, but I know where I'm going to start. But again, it made me think about where I'm gonna head at the end.
I see. I see. Great. Um, okay. Did you, if I assume you did, you mentioned you used the chatbots. Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience with that? Uh, there may be good, if you recall, a prompt and response that stood out to you, if you could
Yeah.
share with us.
So after finishing the survey questions, because obviously we have to fill out the survey questions so the system knows about the person in order to help the person through the prompts on the chatbot. So after filling that out and finishing that, I got to the chatbot. There were some preset questions, pre-existing questions or default questions on the left-hand side to be accurate. At first, I tried them before I gave the chatbot personalized prompts. There was two sections of it. One was about personality and personal development, basically, and the other aspect was specifically for career. So the questions that were pre-existing were divided into two categories: career and personal development. I start with the personal development, and from that category, one thing that stood out for me, again, there were a couple of things because I was really amazed of how accurate this thing is and was. But to highlight only one of them, it was the fact that uh, I am an achiever and a maximizer, if I remember the keywords correctly, but I also do have leadership skills. So imagine this. You are someone who likes to be a leader, but also at the same time, you're an introvert and you like to do individual work. And you have a balance of these two. Uh, this is something that I was really confused about, especially in the past year, because of college, teamwork, group work, and all that. I didn't know if I fit into group work better or individual work. I really didn't know. But that personal development category prompts gave me a clear idea of who I really am. I really thought that I have to particularly be a leader or particularly be an individual doer. But I came to the conclusion after reading the answers of text, answers of prompts, that I can actually be both. They can actually have a cumulative effect. They can actually be capitalized at the same time. You have to first be a good doer and do your own personal work, uh, be pragmatic in your own silence, focused, deep work space, and then transfer or utilize that in your teamwork environment, in whatever role you have. And probably for me, it would be a leadership role. So I had that confusion about myself figured out with those preset prompts. Moving to the career specific prompts, it suggested me careers like therapy, psychology, HR, and social sciences. And I knew I would get those answers. I kind of expected that because even before choosing computer programming, those were the conversations that I was having with my family, and they were saying, "Hey, you have a talent in this." But again, do have that competitive aspect of mine and I like challenges. And I was like, I don't know anything about computer programming. Well, that's a good challenge. I'm going to go learn about it. It's open-ended and I really like it. And I'm going to go in that direction. So a career part of it was really good. Customized cover letters, matching a JD, sorry, a job description to your personality, matching a resume to your personality. Those capabilities of the chatbot were really amazing because you yourself thinking alone and individually and trying to prepare your resume will produce probably a good result, but having a very trained and highly um, trained tool like that help you is a different level.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Before we conclude the interview, is there anything else that you'd like to share about your experience with Diamond AI?
A couple of things. First of all, I really appreciate to have the opportunity to try this out and learn more about myself and the decisions that I'm going to make in the future. And would I suggest it to a friend, to someone in the same position as me, or someone maybe wanting to transition careers, not necessarily early career, which this tool is designed to. It's designed to help people in their early career or in their tertiary education process. So I would really suggest this for a friend or a person in whatever level that they are in their lives to not necessarily find out more about their careers, but also about themselves, because it's a interdisciplinary and like multi-use tool. It's about career, personality, personal development, and it hits a variety of fields, and that's really good about it. I really had a good experience using it, and uh, I'm going to definitely keep using it and learn more about myself as I progress in my educational career and also professional career.
Thank you very much, Matin. And best of luck with your endeavors in the near and far future.
Thank you very much.